Hello and welcome to Real Hi-Fi Help. So, found this interesting video because I actually have listened to this HD 820 headphone, and I just want to give you guys my take on it because I totally disagree with this guy. But I want to explain why that he's right and I'm right at the same time.
Because that's what you want to do with these, is just sit back.
Oh yeah, and I'm starting it here because I just don't want to waste your guys' time looking at the intro, so that's why.
And listen for a long time. And really, that's what, of course, we're most interested in from the start with a pair of headphones like this, is how they sound. That is the focus. And I can tell you right now, they sound absolutely amazing. But really, actually, the interesting thing with these is they're supposed to be a closed-back headphone with all the benefits.
Amazing, I would not say, but let me explain how they are not amazing.
Of an open back design, or as close to an open back pair as a closed back pair can get, if that's making sense. Basically, a typical high-end pair of open back headphones has the classic trade-off. Because they're open, the upside is a much wider soundstage, things sounding like they're coming from across the room, and a variety of areas, a very dynamic sound. But the downside is massive bleed in both directions. Everyone around you can hear what you're listening to, and you can hear things from outside and in your environment outside of the music.
I agree.
So in a loud space, you'll hear that too. So that was the deal with HD800 and HD800S and pretty much any other high-end pair of open back headphones I've ever tried. But
and those are the two previous models. I've owned the 800, the H800Ss. I haven't owned those, but I've also heard those.
The HD820, on the other hand, closed back, but open back, but closed back. There's this concave piece of Gorilla Glass over the driver. That stops a lot of sounds from getting in or out, so the bleed is dramatically less. The people around you will hear much less of what you're listening to, but more importantly, for me anyway, you hear less of the world around you. It's not a complete seal, it's not noise canceling, but when you put them on, you hear a lot less. So like I said, it's not going to be noise canceling by any means. You'll definitely still hear the loudest stuff, but because of that seal all the way around your ear and because of the glass, it's reduced in a major way. It's like going from a big empty room to a much quieter, sound-treated empty room. The soundstage, though, is still extremely wide. And that would be thanks to the huge drivers and the air actually in between the drivers and the glass and the space between your ear and the drivers. So it's still kind of a spread out situation, which is why the headphones are so big. So it's a very complex solution to a real problem, but I can verify that it has the intended effect. And the end result is an amazing listening experience, as it better be for $2,400. Okay, here's where it does it for me. For headphones like this, I feel like I can listen to them at very high volumes. I keep wanting to turn the volume up because when I do, instead of it getting more harsh or more like shrill at those, especially the trebles and the high pitches, it just gets more full. Like there's just more sound. It's so much easier to listen to. I hope that makes sense. Like
I totally agree with that, but that also comes at the expense of it sounding very natural and realistic, and you being able to play really beautiful, rare tracks. Now here's where it gets interesting.
Turning the volume up too high on normal headphones, obviously, it gets distorted, it gets too loud, and it's hard to listen to, it hurts your ears. But turning the volume...
So what he's basically talking about is this Macintosh effect. When you're new to Macintosh and you get some Macintosh gear, there's the same effect where you can just turn the volume up and up and up, and you're like, yes, yes, finally, it doesn't sound harsh, and the treble is under control and all of that. But that comes at a price, you know, that kind of locks the sound, and it puts a sort of a filter, an equalizer on the sound, making it like that. So it's basically biasing the sound a bit. So, yeah.
Up really high on these just feels like more intensity and more sound and more volume without being harsh. I don't know, to an audiophile this probably seems ridiculous what I'm saying right now, but that's just how I feel. And the other thing is I'm listening to these, I'm driving them with an Apollo Twin Mark II, and I'm listening to compressed files from streaming services, so I'm clearly not getting 100% out of these or any headphones probably over $1,000 at this setup here, but it is still a $900 amp and it sounds pretty damn good, and I've been using it at my desk for a while. I've had the Mark I for years, it drives my speakers, and my go-to tracks I'm listening to on Tidal and Spotify. Tidal actually this year introduced what's called a master quality, which is much higher than CD quality apparently, but only a couple artists and albums actually support it with this little letter M. But basically whenever I could, I attempted to listen to the highest available quality possible on Tidal or Spotify. My go-to tracks for assessing audio and listening to songs I'm familiar with for headphones, Contact by Daft Punk. 6 straight minutes of absolutely jaw on the floor, amazing mastering. Listen to that on any pair of headphones, it's great. Strobe by Deadmau5, at its peak, kind of sounds like you're on another planet. Say Nada by Shaka, that's just one of my favorites, and that's also a more pop-heavy song. There's more bass, there's more kick and vocals. And then anything by Vane Sill or C2C, just amazing mastering, and that's the type of stuff that you'll really appreciate on these headphones because different instruments and different sounds will be so separate. That's called instrument separation. They'll be so separate and distinct and crisp and clear that you'll feel like you're appreciating the song in a whole new way.
That everything he said is completely true, but you can clearly tell that he doesn't listen to really good music. The thing is, this is a product that does a very certain thing for a very certain type of user. So those pieces of music that he just displayed there, that's modern beat-driven music. And yeah, when you're listening to that, it's awesome wearing a Sennheiser HD 800, 800S, or even this one, HD 820. But it only sounds good with music effects. It can't play proper guitar, proper voice, and play a bad recording. And that's why I don't like these HD 800 headphones. Because they have so many good things going on for them. Stable volume, you can just turn up and up and up. Soundstage big. Yes, it's maybe the first closed back headphone where it has a huge soundstage. And like he says, the separation, huge separation. That's also the same thing with Macintosh gear. This coolness, this ease, this separation, this stable volume control. That's one of the reasons why you get Macintosh. And it's this exact same thing with Sennheiser HD 800 series. And here they're just boosting the bass even more with this 820 model. And, you know, if you're young, if you listen to Tidal, if you don't have a super good amplifier, if you have a very limited mechanical sense of music, and you're not really into music that's real, if you just want to listen to sound effects and movies and stuff like that, I mean, these are great for that one type of thing, but I didn't like them. I found them to be very weird, very manipulated, very equalized, and but I have to say, you know, Sennheiser HD 800, 800S, and then the 820, they're all very, very comfortable to wear in their own way, and it's so nice to have a set of headphones that don't put pressure on your acupuncture points on your around your ear, because when you're squeezing the ear, you're basically putting pressure on your acupuncture points, and I don't like that. I don't like the feeling of something putting pressure on my acupuncture points. There is a lot of tension that you have on your head, and when you put pressure on the acupuncture points, it gets very uncomfortable, and that's one of the reasons why I wasn't so crazy about the Audeze headphones, even though the Audeze headphones have a much better sound than the Sennheiser HD 800s. But it's for two totally different type of people listening to totally different types of music. So if you're into jazz, blues, real instruments, want to listen to pop rock, everything, you know, folk music especially, and you're really into voices and instruments and realness, you know, Audeze is going to be a lot better than Sennheiser. But I mean, I also have to take into consideration that you have to realize with Sennheiser and their headphones in general, they're very empty. They're very lacking of character, and they're just, many times they don't really go in a certain direction. It's just information without any substance really. But you can actually change that. You can improve the sound if you just change the cable from the Sennheiser cable to a Cardes cable, or something even better. You can get like a custom made Silver Dragon audio note, something like that. That opens the sound up a lot and makes it a lot more real. Plus, if you get an amplifier that is much better than the one that he just showed, like a tube amplifier, and it's triode tube, suddenly that headphone has the ability to play music, and it will play it pretty convincingly. So there is hope with a headphone like this. You can change the sound even though it's very locked. But I just wanted to compare that because I think you guys really deserve to know that this is a lot like the Macintosh products. The Sennheiser HD 800 series is very much like the Macintosh audio products that they make, you know, just that ease of sound, big sound stage, very nice separation. It doesn't distort or fall apart. It's got this like suppressed sound that's very cool. It separates stuff. And a lot of people like that when they get into to hi-fi. So if you want to try, if you can't ever afford Macintosh equipment, but you want a headphone that sounds a lot like it, get the HD 800 series of headphones. They do have a lot in common with Macintosh audio. And that's just basically all that I wanted to say about this video, to help you guys with your purchase. And that's all for now, and remember to like and subscribe. Bye.